The new rules of power, ethics, accountability, and reclaiming control. Introduction. Philosophy meets action. Let's get one thing straight. Knowing isn't enough. You've seen the systems, you've peered through the cracks, and you've uncovered the illusions that shape our world. But here's the kicker. Awareness alone doesn't change a thing. It's action that makes the difference, and that's exactly what this book is about. Taking what you've learned and turning it into something real, something tangible, something that works. Over the past 4 books, we've journeyed through the labyrinth of ISMS, illusions, and power plays that define our lives. We've examined how systems are designed to control, how perception is manipulated, and how history repeats itself in cycles of domination and exploitation. You've seen the game for what it is. Now it's time to stop watching and start playing. This book is the bridge between philosophy and practicality, between understanding and doing. Think of it as your action plan. The first half will focus on 3 rules for life and 6 rules for business, principles that align your personal and professional actions with the values that matter: ethics, transparency, and accountability. These rules aren't just abstract ideals. They're battle-tested frameworks that work, whether you're navigating personal relationships or running a business. The second half tackles the darker side of the game, manipulation tactics. Borrowing insights from Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, we'll explore how these laws play out in the real world, sometimes ethically, sometimes not. But more importantly, we'll break down how to recognize when these tactics are being used against you and how to counter them effectively without compromising your values. This is where the process of processes comes in, a practical framework for creating systems that are ethical, efficient, and impervious to manipulation. Why does this matter? Because systems are inevitable. Whether you're managing your life, running a business, or navigating society, you operate within systems every day. The question isn't whether you'll use systems, it's whether those systems will serve you or control you. This book is about designing systems that align with who you are and what you stand for, instead of defaulting to the ones handed to you by others. Here's the deal. If you've made it this far, you're ready for this step. You're ready to stop being a spectator and start being a player. You're ready to move from uncovering the problem to creating the solution. The tools in this book will help you take control of your life, your business, and the systems you operate within. But remember, tools are just that, tools. It's up to you to wield them. So, are you ready to turn philosophy into action? To build systems that work for you, not against you? To stop being the pawn and start being the player? Good. Let's get to work. Section 1. 3 rules for life. Rule 1. Good over evil. Ethics isn't just a lofty ideal. It's the foundation of everything that works. When you prioritize doing what's right over what's easy, you create relationships, systems, and decisions that stand the test of time. The catch. Doing good isn't always glamorous or immediately rewarding. But in the long run, it's the only thing that truly pays off. Applied to life. Every choice you make reflects your values. Choosing good over evil means holding yourself to a standard that doesn't waver, even when no one's watching. It means being the kind of person whose reputation speaks louder than their words. Example: when faced with a decision to cut corners on a project, choosing quality over shortcuts might cost you time now, but it builds trust and respect that money can't buy. Practical exercise. Write down 3 situations in your life where you could have taken an easier, less ethical route, but didn't. Reflect on how those decisions shaped your relationships or reputation. Mantra: do what's right, not what's easy. Rule 2. Tell the truth. The truth can be uncomfortable, but it's also liberating. In a world full of half-truths and manipulations, honesty is a superpower. Whether you're being honest with yourself or others, it creates clarity and builds trust. And trust? That's the currency of every meaningful relationship, personal or professional. Applied to life. Telling the truth doesn't just mean avoiding lies. It means being transparent about your intentions, your feelings, and your boundaries. It's about aligning your words with your actions and building a reputation for reliability. Example: if you've made a mistake, own it. Acknowledge it, apologize, and take steps to fix it. People respect those who admit fault and learn from it far more than those who deflect or blame. Practical exercise. Identify one situation where you've avoided telling the full truth, either to yourself or someone else. Plan how to address it honestly and constructively. Mantra: truth builds trust. Trust builds strength. Rule 3. Do what you say you will do. Commitments are promises, and promises are the building blocks of trust. When you follow through on what you say, you not only earn respect, but also set a standard for accountability in your life. Conversely, failing to follow through erodes your credibility, making people question your integrity. Applied to life. Reliability isn't just about big promises, it's about the little ones too. From showing up on time to keeping personal commitments, doing what you say you will do shows others and yourself that you're someone they can count on. Example: if you tell a friend you'll help them move or promise yourself you'll work out 3 times a week, do it. The size of the commitment doesn't matter, keeping it does. Practical exercise. List 3 commitments you've made recently to yourself or others. Are you following through? If not, what's stopping you, and how can you fix it? Mantra: follow through is the bridge between intention and trust. Connecting the 3 rules to business. The 3 rules for life aren't just about personal growth. They're the foundation for ethical and effective business practices. When you live by these principles, you bring them into every decision you make as a leader, colleague, or entrepreneur. In the next section, we'll expand on these rules to create the 6 rules for business, showing how these values translate into systems that scale. Section 2. 6 rules for business. The 6 rules for business are built on the foundation of the 3 rules for life, taking the principles of ethics, honesty, and accountability and scaling them to organizational systems. These rules aren't just about running a business. They're about building one that's sustainable, respected, and impactful. They align with the values that work in life, proving that good principles are scalable at any level. Rule 1. Good over evil ethics in every decision. Ethical businesses create lasting value. Doing the right thing isn't just about avoiding scandal. It's about building a reputation that attracts customers, employees, and partners who trust you. How it applies to everyone. For small businesses, be honest in pricing, contracts, and quality. Shortcuts might save money in the short term, but they erode trust over time. For large organizations, build ethical supply chains and ensure transparency in sourcing, production, and labor practices. Actionable tip. Before making any decision, ask yourself, does this align with our values? And would we be proud to share it publicly? Mantra: integrity builds trust, and trust builds loyalty. Rule 2. Tell the truth. Transparency as a superpower. Honesty is the foundation of strong relationships, whether with employees, customers, or partners. Being upfront about challenges, limitations, or mistakes earns more respect than avoiding the conversation. How it applies to everyone. For startups, if you're struggling to deliver, communicate openly with clients and offer realistic timelines or solutions. For established companies, transparency in policies, pricing, and intentions builds long-term customer loyalty and employee engagement. Actionable tip. Make it a habit to share not only successes, but also lessons learned from failures. This creates a culture of trust and accountability. Mantra: clarity and honesty create a solid foundation for growth. Rule 3. Do what you say you will do. Reliability as a differentiator. Your word is your bond. Following through on commitments, no matter how small, sets you apart in a world where overpromising and underdelivering are all too common. How it applies to everyone. For freelancers, meet deadlines consistently, and clients will return for your reliability as much as your skill. For managers, if you promise your team new tools or resources, deliver on time, or communicate delays proactively. Actionable tip: underpromise and overdeliver. Build buffers into your timelines to ensure you consistently meet or exceed expectations. Mantra: consistency and follow-through inspire trust. Rule 4. Make your people happy. Engaged teams drive results. Happy employees create thriving businesses. Whether you're leading a team of 50 or working with a few contractors, prioritizing their well-being translates into better outcomes for everyone. How it applies to everyone. For entrepreneurs, celebrate milestones with your contractors or freelancers. Even small gestures, like a thank you message, show appreciation. For large teams, create an environment where employees feel valued with opportunities for growth, clear communication, and recognition. Actionable tip: schedule regular one-on-ones to check in with employees or collaborators. Ask about their challenges and how you can support them. Mantra: happy people build strong businesses. Rule 5. Make your customers happy. Focus on the experience. Customer satisfaction goes beyond delivering a product or service. It's about creating an experience that makes them feel valued and understood. How it applies to everyone. For small businesses, personalize your interactions with customers. A simple thank you email or follow-up can make a lasting impression. For enterprises, invest in customer service training and empower employees to resolve issues quickly and effectively. Actionable tip: adopt the mindset. What would delight my customer? Then find small, consistent ways to exceed their expectations. Mantra: happy customers drive referrals and repeat business. Rule 6. Make money. Sustainability through profitability. Profitability isn't greed, it's survival. A business that doesn't make money can't invest in its people, its customers, or its future. The key is making money ethically and sustainably. How it applies to everyone. For startups, focus on cash flow and avoid unnecessary expenses. Survival in the early days is about staying lean. For established companies, reinvest profits into employee development, customer experiences, and innovation to ensure long-term success. Actionable tip: review your expenses regularly and ask, does this align with our mission and drive value? Cut anything that doesn't support your goals. Mantra: profit fuels purpose when earned ethically. Closing the section. These 6 rules for business aren't tied to any one industry, role, or company size. They're universal because they're based on principles that work everywhere: ethics, honesty, accountability, and a commitment to people. Apply them consistently, and they'll do more than just guide your business. They'll define your legacy. Section 3. Manipulation tactics and countermeasures. Every system, whether it's business, politics, or personal relationships, is filled with power plays and manipulation tactics. People use these strategies to gain an edge, control outcomes, or protect their interests. Some align with ethical principles, others don't. This section explores these tactics, contrasts them with Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, and most importantly, provides countermeasures grounded in ethics and practicality. Manipulation tactics in the real world. Manipulation thrives in ambiguity, exploiting trust, ignorance, or fear. Here are three common categories of manipulation tactics you're likely to encounter. 1. The hidden agenda tactic, concealing true intentions behind a facade of cooperation or neutrality. Example: a client praises your work but subtly pushes for additional services beyond the agreed scope for free. Countermeasure: establish clear boundaries upfront with written agreements or contracts. Ask clarifying questions. Can you explain how this fits within our initial agreement? Transparency neutralizes hidden agendas by making intentions explicit. 2. Divide and conquer tactic, creating conflict among groups or individuals to maintain control. Example: a manager fosters competition between team members, keeping them too distracted to challenge their authority. Countermeasure: foster open communication and collaboration to prevent isolation. Call out divisive behavior directly. How can we resolve this together? Emphasize shared goals over individual rivalries. 3. The illusion of choice tactic, presenting options that appear diverse but ultimately lead to the same outcome. Example: a vendor offers multiple service packages, all of which include unnecessary upsells that inflate costs. Countermeasure: pause to evaluate your real needs versus the options presented. Negotiate terms that align with your objectives, ignoring unnecessary add-ons. Question the alternatives. What's the simplest way to achieve this goal? Countering manipulative laws of power. Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power is a masterclass in manipulation, often skirting ethical lines. Let's examine a few laws and how to counter them while staying true to your principles. 1. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Greene's advice: hide your true plans to avoid interference. Countermeasure: transparency is the antidote. Openly share your goals when appropriate to build trust and collaboration. This doesn't mean overexposing yourself. Balance openness with discretion. 2. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Greene's advice: delegate work, but ensure you're seen as the driving force. Countermeasure: foster a culture of recognition. Publicly credit collaborators for their contributions and build loyalty through fairness. 3. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Greene's advice: leave no room for rivals to recover. Countermeasure: replace aggression with collaboration. Turning competitors into partners can open unexpected opportunities and reduce friction. 4. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe. Greene's advice: use people's desire for purpose to manipulate them into following you. Countermeasure: inspire without exploiting. Lead with authenticity, offering a vision people genuinely want to support rather than manufacturing loyalty through deception. Building ethical systems as a shield. Manipulation thrives where systems are weak or opaque. By building ethical, transparent systems, you can create a shield against manipulative tactics while fostering a culture of trust. 1. Transparency and communication. Clearly define expectations, roles, and outcomes for all interactions. Use tools like written agreements, open forums, or collaborative platforms to ensure everyone is on the same page. 2. Accountability structures. Implement feedback loops where decisions and actions are regularly reviewed. Create systems where unethical behavior is flagged and addressed quickly. 3. Values as a guidepost. Align every process and decision with core values like honesty, fairness, and respect. Teach your team to recognize manipulative tactics and empower them to address them effectively. A framework for countering manipulation. Use this step-by-step framework when you suspect manipulation is at play. 1. Pause and analyze. Identify the tactic, what's being said, and what's being implied. Ask, who benefits from this interaction? 2. Clarify intentions. Respond with questions that expose hidden motives. Example, what's your goal for suggesting this? 3. Set boundaries. Politely, but firmly communicate limits. Example, this is outside the scope of what we agreed to, but I'd be happy to discuss how we can address it with a new arrangement. 4. Bring in transparency. Document conversations and decisions to eliminate ambiguity. 5. Escalate if necessary. If manipulation persists, involve higher authorities or seek external advice to resolve the situation. Closing the section, manipulation tactics aren't going away, but neither are you. By staying grounded in ethics, transparency, and clear systems, you can counter manipulation without losing your integrity. The key is to anticipate the game without becoming part of it. Section 3. Manipulation tactics and countermeasures. Every system, whether it's business, politics, or personal relationships, is filled with power plays and manipulation tactics. People use these strategies to gain an edge, control outcomes, or protect their interests. Some align with ethical principles, others don't. This section explores these tactics, contrasts them with Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, and, most importantly, provides countermeasures grounded in ethics and practicality. Manipulation tactics in the real world. Manipulation thrives in ambiguity, exploiting trust, ignorance, or fear. Here are 3 common categories of manipulation tactics you're likely to encounter. 1. The hidden agenda tactic, concealing true intentions behind a facade of cooperation or neutrality. Example, a client praises your work but subtly pushes for additional services beyond the agreed scope for free. Countermeasure. Establish clear boundaries upfront with written agreements or contracts. Ask clarifying questions. Can you explain how this fits within our initial agreement? Transparency neutralizes hidden agendas by making intentions explicit. 2. Divide and conquer tactic, creating conflict among groups or individuals to maintain control. Example, a manager fosters competition between team members, keeping them too distracted to challenge their authority. Countermeasure. Foster open communication and collaboration to prevent isolation. Call out divisive behavior directly. How can we resolve this together? Emphasize shared goals over individual rivalries. 3. The illusion of choice tactic, presenting options that appear diverse but ultimately lead to the same outcome. Example, a vendor offers multiple service packages, all of which include unnecessary upsells that inflate costs. Countermeasure. Pause to evaluate your real needs versus the options presented. Negotiate terms that align with your objectives, ignoring unnecessary add-ons. Question the alternatives. What's the simplest way to achieve this goal? Countering manipulative laws of power. Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power is a masterclass in manipulation, often skirting ethical lines. Let's examine a few laws and how to counter them while staying true to your principles. 1. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Greene's advice. Hide your true plans to avoid interference. Countermeasure. Transparency is the antidote. Openly share your goals when appropriate to build trust and collaboration. This doesn't mean overexposing yourself. Balance openness with discretion. 2. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Greene's advice. Delegate work, but ensure you're seen as the driving force. Countermeasure. Foster a culture of recognition. Publicly credit collaborators for their contributions and build loyalty through fairness. 3. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Greene's advice. Leave no room for rivals to recover. Countermeasure. Replace aggression with collaboration. Turning competitors into partners can open unexpected opportunities and reduce friction. 4. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe. Green's advice. Use people's desire for purpose to manipulate them into following you. Countermeasure. Inspire without exploiting. Lead with authenticity, offering a vision people genuinely want to support rather than manufacturing loyalty through deception. Building ethical systems as a shield. Manipulation thrives where systems are weak or opaque. By building ethical, transparent systems, you can create a shield against manipulative tactics while fostering a culture of trust. 1. Transparency and communication. Clearly define expectations, roles, and outcomes for all interactions. Use tools like written agreements, open forums, or collaborative platforms to ensure everyone is on the same page. 2. Accountability structures. Implement feedback loops where decisions and actions are regularly reviewed. Create systems where unethical behavior is flagged and addressed quickly. 3. Values as a guidepost. Align every process and decision with core values like honesty, fairness, and respect. Teach your team to recognize manipulative tactics and empower them to address them effectively. A framework for countering manipulation. Use this step-by-step framework when you suspect manipulation is at play. 1. Pause and analyze. Identify the tactic, what's being said, and what's being implied. Ask, who benefits from this interaction? 2. Clarify intentions. Respond with questions that expose hidden motives. Example, what's your goal for suggesting this? 3. Set boundaries. Politely but firmly communicate limits. Example, this is outside the scope of what we agreed to, but I'd be happy to discuss how we can address it with a new arrangement. 4. Bring in transparency. Document conversations and decisions to eliminate ambiguity. 5. Escalate if necessary. If manipulation persists, involve higher authorities or seek external advice to resolve the situation. Closing the section. Next, we'll dive into Section 4, Practical Applications, where you'll learn how to implement these principles in both life and business using real-world tools and examples. Let's turn philosophy into action, shall we? Section 4, Practical Applications. This section is where the philosophy, rules, and strategies you've learned come to life. Whether you're navigating personal challenges, running a business, or managing relationships, the tools and frameworks provided here will guide you in applying these principles in real-world scenarios. 1. Applying the 3 rules for life. Scenario 1. Personal decision-making. Challenge. You're torn between taking a higher-paying job that conflicts with your values or staying in a role that aligns with your principles but offers lower pay. Solution. Good over evil. Ask yourself, will this decision compromise my integrity or long-term happiness? Tell the truth. Be honest with yourself about what matters most, money or meaning. Do what you say you will do. If you've committed to pursuing work that aligns with your values, stick to that promise. Outcome. Choosing the path that aligns with your values strengthens your confidence and builds a reputation for integrity. Scenario 2. Strengthening relationships. Challenge. A close friend has been unreliable, and you're considering addressing the issue. Solution. Good over evil. Approach the conversation with kindness and a genuine intent to resolve the issue, not to attack. Tell the truth. Communicate your feelings openly. I value our friendship, but I feel let down when commitments aren't kept. Do what you say you will do. If you commit to working on the friendship, follow through with consistent effort. Outcome, the relationship improves, or if it doesn't, you gain clarity about its future. 2. Implementing the 6 rules for business. Scenario 1. Ethical leadership. Challenge. Your team proposes a cost-saving measure that would compromise product quality. Solution. Good over evil. Reject the shortcut, even if it means losing short-term profits. Tell the truth. Be transparent with your team about why the decision was made. Do what you say you will do. Follow through by investing in quality improvements that reflect your values. Outcome. You maintain trust with your customers and set a precedent for ethical decision-making. Scenario 2. Building a customer-centric culture. Challenge. A major client complains about delays in communication. Solution. Make your customers happy. Respond promptly, apologize sincerely, and create a system to ensure timely updates in the future. Tell the truth. Be upfront about the cause of the delay and the steps being taken to fix it. Do what you say you will do. Implement the promised changes and follow up with the client to ensure their satisfaction. Outcome. The client feels valued and your reputation for responsiveness grows. 3. Using the process of processes framework. Scenario 1. Solving workplace inefficiencies. Challenge. Employees spend hours weekly on redundant manual data entry. Solution. Define the problem. We're losing 10 hours weekly to manual tracking. Align with values. Does automating this process save time and align with ethical practices? Calculate ROI. Measure the cost of automation against the savings in time and error reduction. Test and pilot. Implement a small-scale automation tool and gather employee feedback. Outcome. The new process saves time and reduces errors, increasing productivity and morale. Scenario 2. Introducing a new policy. Challenge. You want to implement a mentorship program to reduce turnover, but some managers resist. Solution. Define the problem. High turnover is costing the company $50,000 annually in training expenses. Align with values. Does mentorship align with the 6 laws? Yes. Investing in people builds morale and profitability. Test and pilot. Pair new hires with mentors in one department and measure engagement and retention rates. Monitor and refine. Use employee feedback to improve the program before scaling. Outcome. The pilot program demonstrates measurable success, reducing turnover and increasing employee satisfaction. 4. Countering manipulation in everyday scenarios. Scenario 1. Negotiation tactics. Challenge. A vendor uses high-pressure tactics to push an overpriced package. Solution. Pause and analyze. Recognize the pressure tactic. Set boundaries. Calmly state, I need time to evaluate this proposal before deciding. Bring in transparency. Request a detailed breakdown of costs and ask for alternatives. Outcome. You regain control of the negotiation and secure a fairer deal. Scenario 2. Internal team dynamics. Challenge. A team member uses flattery to avoid accountability for missed deadlines. Solution. Clarify intentions. Redirect the conversation to their responsibilities. I appreciate the compliment, but let's focus on how we can meet the next deadline. Set boundaries. Make it clear that accountability is non-negotiable. Outcome. The team member adjusts their behavior, and the team operates more efficiently. 5. Tools and exercises. 1. Ethical decision-making checklist. Does this align with my values? Who benefits from this decision? What are the long-term consequences? 2. Process development worksheet. Problem statement. What are you solving? ROI calculation. What's the cost and what's the gain? Pilot plan. How will you test it before scaling? 3. Manipulation detection playbook. Common tactic. Hidden agenda. Key question. What's their real intention? Response. Can we make this explicit so we're on the same page? Conclusion. turning action into impact. This is where the philosophy meets the road. Every principle, framework, and strategy you've learned is designed to be actionable, adaptable, and impactful. Whether you're making personal decisions, running a business, or navigating the complexities of power dynamics, you now have the tools to succeed without compromising your integrity. Remember, systems are inevitable, but how you design and navigate them is entirely up to you. Lead with ethics, communicate with transparency, and act with accountability, and you'll not only thrive, you'll inspire others to do the same. Now it's your turn. Go out there and build something real. Conclusion: designing systems for a better world. You've made it this far, and that says something. It says you're not content to drift through life on autopilot, playing by rules you didn't write and living in systems you didn't choose. It says you're ready to take control, not just of your life and your business, but of the systems you inhabit. This book isn't just a guide. It's a call to action, a challenge to take what you've learned and use it to build something better. The journey recap: you started with the 3 rules for life, foundational principles that guide personal integrity, clarity, and trust. These rules remind us that ethics, honesty, and accountability aren't just virtues. They're the keys to thriving in an increasingly chaotic world. You expanded to the 6 rules for business, practical principles that apply those personal rules to professional contexts. From ethical leadership to customer focus and profitability, these rules show how sustainable success stems from doing what's right, not just what's easy. You uncovered the dark side, manipulation tactics and power plays that permeate every system. But you didn't stop there. You learned how to spot them, counter them, and protect yourself and your business by building systems that prioritize transparency, fairness, and efficiency. Finally, you discovered how to apply these principles through tools, frameworks, and practical exercises, turning philosophy into action. The real work begins. Here's the truth: systems are inevitable. They're the scaffolding of our lives, shaping everything from how we make decisions to how we interact with the world. But the choice isn't whether or not you live within systems. It's whether those systems serve you or control you, whether they reflect your values or compromise them. You now have the tools to create systems that work. Systems that align with your principles, solve real problems, and adapt to change without breaking. Whether you're designing processes for a business, navigating relationships, or countering manipulation, the frameworks in this book are designed to empower you. But tools don't work on their own. You have to wield them. The challenge: be the player, not the pawn. Most people live their lives reacting to systems, to manipulation, to circumstances. But that's not you. You've seen the game for what it is, and now you're ready to start playing it on your terms. Here's your challenge. 1. Build systems. Design systems in your life and business that reflect your values. Let your processes, decisions, and actions flow from a foundation of ethics and accountability. 2. Lead with integrity. Be the example. Whether it's your family, your team, or your community, your actions set the tone for others. 3. Empower others. Use what you've learned to uplift those around you. Teach them to see through manipulation, to question systems, and to take control of their own lives. Closing thought: the legacy of your systems. The systems you build will outlive you. They'll ripple through the lives of those you touch, your family, your employees, your clients, your community. By creating systems that prioritize people over profits, values over shortcuts, and clarity over manipulation, you leave behind something far greater than success. You leave a legacy. So, what's next? That's up to you. Whether you're designing processes for your business, navigating personal decisions, or rethinking the systems that govern your world, the path forward is yours to forge. Take what you've learned, apply it, and create something worth building. Let's get to work. We're in charge now. To all governments, leaders, and those clinging to power, let's get one thing clear. Your time is up. The world doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to us. The citizens, the workers, the people who've been cleaning up your messes while you pass blame, make excuses, and protect your own interests. We're done waiting for you to get it right. It's time for accountability, action, and change. Stop blaming. Start leading. Every time you screw up, we hear the same tired refrain. It's not our fault. It's the system we inherited. Sure, maybe the system was flawed when you got here, but you've been steering the ship for decades now. If the ship is still sinking, guess what? That's on you. You grew up seeing the same injustices, hearing the same lies, and living under the same broken systems as we did. You saw what wasn't working. You had the chance to change it. And what did you do? Patch the cracks, keep the wheels turning, and kick the can down the road. Enough. The rules have changed. We're not asking for change. We're demanding it. Here are the rules of engagement from now on. Stick to them or step aside for someone who will. 1. You work for us, not yourselves. Every decision you make must serve the people, not corporations, not lobbyists, and definitely not your personal bank accounts. Your job isn't to maintain power. It's to wield it responsibly on behalf of those who entrusted it to you. Message to you: quit the double talk, the backroom deals, and the self-enrichment. If your policies don't make life better for the majority, they're failures. 2. The blame game is over. The problems you inherited aren't excuses, they're challenges to be solved. Blaming prior generations doesn't absolve you of responsibility. It highlights your inability to lead. Message to you: own your failures, learn from them, and act. If you can't, we'll find someone who can. 3. Transparency is non-negotiable. Every law, policy, and dollar spent needs to be accounted for. If you can't explain it, you can't do it. The age of secrecy is over. Message to you: we're watching. And if you think you can hide behind jargon and bureaucracy, think again. The truth will come out, one way or another. 4. No more excuses, just results. We don't care about your rhetoric or your vision. We care about what you deliver. Promises are worthless without action, and your failures will be measured by the harm they cause. Message to you: don't tell us what you're going to do. Show us. Deliver or get out of the way. 5. Fairness or fallout. Inequality has gone unchecked for too long. The rules must apply to everyone, from billionaires to the most vulnerable. If you're not working toward a fairer world, you're part of the problem. Message to you: redistribute opportunity, not just wealth. If you protect the few at the expense of the many, you'll lose the mandate to govern. 6. The future is non-negotiable. Stop mortgaging tomorrow for today's profits. Every decision you make must ensure a sustainable future for the planet, for the people, and for generations yet to come. Message to you: if you can't see past the next election cycle, you're not fit to lead. Long-term thinking isn't optional, it's survival. We're done asking. You had your chance to lead, to fix the systems, to build a better world. Instead, you chose comfort over courage, profit over people, and excuses over action. That ends now. We are the generation of accountability, the architects of change, and the ones who will no longer tolerate mediocrity dressed as governance. If you're ready to rise to this challenge, we'll work with you to build a future worth fighting for. If you're not, we'll build it without you. Your move.